What up, y'all? Welcome to another edition of Flex Friday. Today, we're going to be talking about how you can get shredded fast, all right? And this is something that a lot of people think that they know, but they usually don't execute it correctly. Matter of fact, a lot of things in fitness, because of the proliferation of social media, there's so many fitness influencers out there that are giving free advice, and I think that's a phenomenal thing. But a lot of people have taken that advice and they think that they know things, but then when they actually go to execute it in the gym, there's a disconnect between the information that they received and the things that they're actually doing in the gym. And I think it creates this weird environment where people think that they know everything, and so they're almost less receptive to more advice and new information. But then when you go look at what they're doing, it's not actually to a level or to the standard that is required to get the result that they want. And so today, I want to go over how you can get shredded fast, but I want to give you some information you've probably already heard, but I want to make sure that you are able to take it and have quantifiable metrics when you go to the gym to say, okay, did I check this box? Did I check this box? Did I check this box? So you'll know for sure that you're doing it properly and you're going to be able to get that result that you want. So we're going to talk about how do we build muscle mass, okay? And there's plenty of things that go into this. Of course, nutrition is by far the biggest thing that goes into it. But specifically today on this video, I want to talk about what we do in the gym, right? If we really want to put on muscle mass, we want to do it quickly, we want to do it efficiently, we want to do it effectively. How do we do that? There's three things I need you to keep in mind. Number one is your rep range, okay? This is the one that the most people get wrong, by the way. The rep range for hypertrophy. Now, there's a whole scale here, right? Low rep, high weight tends to be for strength gains if you want to get stronger. That mid range tends to be for hypertrophy, which means muscle growth, muscle synthesis. And then that upper range tends to be for muscular endurance, okay? So for prime hypertrophy zone, we're going to want to be between 8 and 15 repetitions of any given exercise. So that means if you are on bench press and your main goal, of course, you're gonna get stronger anytime you lift. You're gonna get more endurance anytime you lift. So it's all crossed over, but we're talking about our main focus here. If you really are trying to focus on growing muscle, you wanna be between 8 and 15 reps per set of any given exercise. So again, if you're on bench press, I want you doing 8 to 15 reps if you're focused on growth, okay? That's the rep range you want to be in. Now, here's what most people get wrong. They hear that, and that's a very common thing to say, but they hear that, and then they'll go into the gym, they'll do 12 reps per set, and they'll never approach failure. This is the Achilles heel in the entire thing, okay? When we say these rep ranges, 1 to 7 for strength, 8 to 15 for hypertrophy, 15 or 16 and above for endurance, when we say those things, the implied catch is that that is the rep range at which you should be hitting failure. This is where everybody goes wrong. They'll pick a weight where, yeah, they do 12 reps in a set, but they could have done 20 reps in the set with that same weight. And so what we want to do is pick our weight in such a way that within 8 to 15 reps, again, for hypertrophy specifically, we're hitting muscle failure. So maybe we pick a weight where we get to 12 reps and we barely squeak out that last one. If we had tried to go for 13, we probably wouldn't make it. Now you're doing it correctly. So what you've heard on the internet is correct, 8 to 16 or 8 to 15, but pick a weight that makes it make sense. For hypertrophy, we want to approach failure. For strength gains, we don't. For endurance gains, we do. For hypertrophy gains, we want to push all the way to failure pretty much every single set, because that is where that real breakdown of the muscle is happening. And of course, it rebuilds back stronger and bigger. And that's what's going to get you those gains that you are looking for. All right. Number two is most people don't spend enough time per set. You got to understand there's different influences when it comes to what is actually creating the muscle growth. So of course, mechanical stress is one of those influences, one of those variables in this growth equation. Mechanical meaning exactly what it sounds like. How much mechanical force or weight is my body having to move. So if I have a 40-pound dumbbell versus a 50-pound dumbbell, we're manipulating mechanical stress there, right? Now, the other side of that equation is metabolic stress, meaning the internal systems of the body, my own metabolic systems. What are they having to go through? What are they having to supply the body in order for it to complete this exercise? That is what we're focusing on here. We have to get to a point where each and every set is 40 seconds, all right? 40 seconds of what we call time under tension, or basically the amount of time that it's gonna take you to complete the set, all right? What's gonna happen here is if we're doing a set and we're just busting out reps, and maybe it is 12 reps to failure. So we checked the first box, right? We're between 8 and 15 and we went to failure. But we just busted them out and it only took us 25 seconds to complete that set. Our muscles have not had enough time under tension for the metabolic system to really feel stressed out, okay? And what we wanna do is combine mechanical stress and metabolic stress so that our bodies are having to work really, really hard to accomplish the task, in this case, doing a bench press for 12 reps. If we're doing it too quickly, our metabolic system isn't even really warmed up yet. So what we wanna do is slow it down, right? And this brings me to my third and final point, eccentrics, all right? The concentric portion of an exercise is what you would really consider the main lift. So on a bench press, that's pushing out. That's concentric motion. Now that part of it, we want it to be fast. We want it to be explosive. We want it to be as quick and violent as we can. On the way down though, as we're going back to our reset position, on the way down, that's called eccentrics, okay? That is what we want to slow down to help us achieve our 40 seconds of time under tension. Now, the reason why I bring the eccentrics up as almost a third separate point is because there's a difference between just slowing down enough to get to 40 seconds and slowing down with intention. Slowing down where we're trying to establish a true mind-muscle connection. Slowing down to the point where we feel every little stretch of every little muscle fiber. That's what you really want to shoot for, because the reality is concentric motion builds strength. When I'm pushing that bar out, I'm building strength. But when I'm slowly lowering it down, right, and I feel it pulling those muscle fibers apart, slowly stretching everything out, and I'm having to resist gravity, I'm not just letting it fall, I'm slowly doing this, that is what builds size and muscle, okay? So remember this, concentric is going to build strength, eccentric, slow and controlled, is going to build two things. It's gonna build the muscle mass, it's gonna help you gain size. It's also going to help you with the brain-body connection. It's gonna help you get more functional control. And if you know me, you know that I'm a huge proponent of functional fitness. There is no point in having a bunch of muscle on your body and not being able to use it. It's no good for nothing if it's just there to look good, all right? You need to be able to have some functional fitness with the physique that you are building. So guys, with those three things, right, the 8 to 15 rep range, hitting failure within those ranges, 40 seconds or more time under tension for every single set that you do, and then doing really slow, well thought through eccentric exercises, that is going to give you a formula for muscle growth. And again, this is if we're focusing on hypertrophy, focusing on doing everything that we can to tear the muscle down so that we can build it back up stronger and bigger. The last thing that I'll say is if you're able to checkpoint all three of these things, then you're gonna wanna shoot for minimum 12 sets per workout, okay? 12 sets. So if I do 3 exercises, 4 sets each, that's 12. Now I will say volume is king, so the more, the better. When we're talking about hypertrophy, this is not for strength, this is not for endurance. But when we talk about bodybuilding, when we talk about hypertrophy, volume is king. It is the end all and be all of your growth. So once you hit these 3 checkpoints, now we start to expand how many sets we're doing in any given workout. Maybe we start around 12, then the next time we work out, we get up to 16. And then eventually, if you really are making a serious run at this, you're gonna wanna be around 20, maybe even more per workout if you really wanna see some crazy results. And of course, we gotta make sure that we're fueling our body properly to ensure that we're not breaking ourselves down and not giving ourselves an opportunity to build back up We got to make sure that the protein intake is high. We got to make sure that the calories stay in check and all these other things. If you're interested, by the way, in learning more about how to do this, especially as a young professional or busy entrepreneur, that's kind of the clientele that I specifically work with, just because I feel like I understand you guys, because I don't work out for a living like most fitness influencers do. I'm on the road with Eric Thomas and speaking and doing all these other business activities during the week. And so that's what I specialize in, is helping entrepreneurs and busy professionals get fit in 45 minutes a day or less. So if you're interested in hearing more about that, be sure to head over to supermanshred.com. It's a free training on there where I got the top 5 mistakes that most guys are making. So be sure to check that out at the end of this video. But as always, please like, comment, subscribe. And if this gave you value, please do me a huge favor and share this with somebody that you know is going to receive value from this as well. I genuinely believe that if we can just share messages like this, then slowly but surely we can each get better as individuals. And as each one of us actualizes our potential as an individual, we will then collectively make it the world a better place. And I believe that's why I was put here on this earth. So with that being said, y'all, I hope you enjoyed the video. Happy Flex Friday, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.